Grove Park like I said I was. This is going to be another one of those concept videos. I'm going to try to see if I can find some place where you don't see the wind blow as heavily as hard. And yes, we got somebody in the background that likes to sing. So if you hear some singing in the background, there ain't nothing I can do about that. Because if I was to start yelling and screaming, it would just start a confrontation. And I'm just here to film a video. Plus it helped me get out the house. And then tomorrow I might buy another pair of pants. I don't know what I might buy. But I might buy one more item before I stop and start conserving some money. Now, tomorrow's video will be a groundbreaking video. I know you guys have been wondering when am I going to get to the hottest cars to get girls to notice you. Thing with that is you have to do proper research, because if you don't do proper research with new groundbreaking videos, they can hurt your YouTube career. I've seen people make these types of videos in the past and it helped their channel, and then I've seen some videos that hurt YouTube channels, and it's hard to come back from it. It's hard to bounce back from it. So this is going to be one of those YouTube videos where it's a concept. It's a subject that I probably talked about on my old YouTube channels, so I'm probably gonna talk about it again. Now this one we're probably gonna entitled this one's, I don't expect this one to break a lot of views. It's just a video for today. Tomorrow's the video you're gonna really want to see, and that is sex with Samoan women. Do I like Samoan women? The answer is yes, I do. Now, I would probably say the only time I've probably had a big crush on a Samoan chick, well, she wasn't exactly Samoan, but I think she was either Hawaiian on her dad's side of the family, and I think her mom's side of the family was Tomaha. Like, a lot of people get confused because when they see the island, they see Pacific Islanders, the Islanders, Hawaiians, and Samoans, they get confused and they don't know which nationality. Now this, again, is for black men that are sexually frustrated, and some white men, and some Latino men that may want some answers to their problem. See, I think most of us always keep going after the women that we see in the movies and the television shows, and we don't realize that it takes a huge degree of looks, money, and status to attract these types of women. Like you see, I'm at the Grove, right? If you don't have the right clothes or the right shoes or the right haircut or the right look, then 85 to 90% of the time you're going to experience rejection a whole lot. And when I mean a whole lot, I'm talking about every time you come here, you're going to experience rejection every single day until you figure out, in this area, in this location, 85 to 90, and I mean willing to go as far as 95% of the time, it's looks, money, and status. If you don't, then you'll never figure this out. Now, I'm not saying there ain't rules to the exception, because there are. Now, the reason why I say I like these Samoan chicks is because they don't look at you like how other races of women look at you. Like, they give you a chance to prove that you're not a stereotype from the movies and television shows. Some men will fall into the stereotype role that they see in the movies and the television shows, and then some guys will figure out there's actually a way not to fall into the stereotypes. Now, one of my funnest experiences with a Samoan chick would probably have to be back in 2018. That was the that was the year that I got a job. I should take it back, 2017. Towards the last part of 2017, I got a job at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Never thought I would ever get a job working in sports like I like. I like basketball, I like football. Try to get some place where there's the shade so you guys can see me in the video and not so much direct sunlight. Because y'all be like, man, Alex, I can't see your face, man. Let me see your face, man. So like I was saying, that I was working at the Los Angeles Coliseum. I was actually shocked when this actually happened. Because she was like in her late 20s, early 30s. She had a nice athletic build. And you could tell this woman is into every sport. Like, she plays basketball, football, baseball, ran track, cross country, can swim, even done a little bit of some mixed martial arts and boxing because she has an attitude problem. She gets into a lot of fights with a lot of women, and she has gotten into a lot of fights with a lot of men. And then she got those Samoan tattoos. You know, the same tattoos that Dwayne The Rock has? She has some of them tattoos. And on her father's side of the family, or in this case, I'll just say she just comes from a full-blown Samoan family. Like, it's her and maybe 3 or 4 other kids in the family. Like, she's not the only kid in the family. Now, she's like the older sister, and then she has a younger sister. And from the very beginning, she developed some type of crush on me. Even though she don't like to ever admit it. Because, you know, she'll act all hard and tough and shit. And some men didn't like that. Because they ain't like, some men like, man, this girl acting too hard and too masculine. And she can overhear people's conversations and then confront you 2 or 3 hours later, confront you. So she weren't no pushover. She weren't no punk by no means of imagination. She found me physically sexually attractive because my masculine energy was so strong and so powerful that it willed her in. You know, there was the feeling on my biceps, feeling on my muscles, you know, smiling because I had a nice firm chest. I'm trying to keep the videos as PG as I possibly can here. I don't want YouTube to be like, okay, kid, you messed up our community guidelines. Oops, delete, bye-bye, see you later. Because you know how YouTube gets. Because I had the body of a football player, and at the time I had packed on 20 pounds of muscle, but then 20 pounds of muscle turned into fat because I wasn't going to the gym, I wasn't hitting them weights as much, and my mom was sick and in the hospital, so I was kind of like sidetracked. And when I got the job, I saw the job as an opportunity to get some new clothes, some new shoes, and an opportunity to get back into the gym. At that point, I was at Planet Fitness. And halfway until the football season, I saw her twin sister. Her sister looked like she might be light-skinned, so that you may never know there might be a shade of black in that family. You know, she looked like she was, you know, black and Samoan, but she was light-skinned. She had some killer curves, the big butt, and a lot of guys was trying to holler at her sister, and surprise, surprise, a lot of these guys got rejected. A lot of these guys was asking for the phone number. A lot of these guys was trying to ask her out to lunch and dinner, and they were getting rejected left and right. There was probably maybe one guy that was an ex-Crip gang member that actually was able to succeed where everybody else failed. Like, he got to take her out to lunch 3 times. He was able to talk to her on the phone and text. Now, it wasn't just him being persistent. It was him actually figuring out what to do and what not to do. And when was the right time to do it and when was the wrong time to do it. So he waited until the moment where he knew for sure he had a shot. I probably would have been able to take this Samoan chick out to lunch and dinner. The problem was she pulled one of those old school traditional shit test on me. You know, order for me to do it, I had to pass a test. She claimed she was going to give me some dinner. And in order to get the dinner, I had to demonstrate masculinity. And you see, this is the thing that a lot of men get angry and upset, which I'm going to make another Far Cry video to the shit test series. It ain't going to be so much of a shit test series. It's probably going to be a part 3 to explain why some men don't like pickup artists and dating coaches saying you got to pass the test, the S test. I always try to give everything a nickname. And she gave me a shit test. And I failed it because I had never experienced a shit test. So even if there was some chance that I knew I was being tested, I didn't know what she was looking for. Because it's like, okay, I got a job, I go to the gym, I work out, I think I waited like almost 4 months before I went to Planet Fitness, because I wanted to see how long will it take that the money would come in. And once the money came in, temporarily, I went back to Planet Fitness and started hitting them weights, trying to get back into athletic shape. And when I got bigger and I got stronger and I put like at least 20 pounds of muscle, or turned the fat back into 20 pounds of muscle, she found me more physically, sexually attractive. So she gave me a second chance to pass the shit test. I would say that I barely passed. Like, if you were to give me a grade, you'd probably give me a C+. Because it took me 2 tries. Of course, I would see her a year later, and she had more tattoos. And I'm not going to even go into discussion on what happened in that, because I don't want YouTube to delete the video and you guys be like, man, they like that. Not all Samoan chicks are like the one that I'm talking about. Because you got to be in physical shape to even try to get one to look at you. See, and then here's the thing. I wasn't even trying to holler at no females when I got my first seasonal part-time job. My whole purpose was to focus on self-improvement. Get some new clothes, get some new shoes, and focus on getting from where I fell down and pick myself up and get back into the game. I wasn't suspecting that a Samoan girl was going to check me out 2 years in a row, 2017, 2018, the 2 years that I worked at the Coliseum back to back. The reason why I left the second year is because I had a job right here in the Grove, and guess what? There was no way I could have 2 jobs in the same year. I come to my old job at the Grove, and they cut my hours from working 3 times a week to 2 times a week to 1 time a week, which I thought was very rude and disrespectful, because I needed the money. I needed to make as much money as I could make. I was going to make that transition from Planet Fitness Gym to 24-hour fitness gym to get into far better athletic shape. And then I was going to finally do the ultimate. I was going to finally go to driving school so I can pursue that. And before I could pursue it, my hours got cut and I didn't have the monies. And the whole entire summer turned into a waste. And then the second year that I was working at my current job, again, I tried to pursue it. And then that's when, the store went into debt. Weren't nobody buying the clothes at the retail store. Temporary went out of business. And then I lost my job, and then I had to turn around and get a new job in Santa Monica, washing dishes at this new fast food chain that's been open for the past 4 months. So there's a lot of twists and turns in my story. And even the second year, she still found me physically, sexually attractive. Like, because I got even bigger. Like, if you've seen Dragon Ball Z, if you've seen the new Broly movie and how buff Broly was, she looked at me like I was Broly. Like, if Dragon Ball Z was real, she probably would move Goku out the way, move Vegeta, and come straight at Broly. Like, she wanted to come rip my shirt off or something. That's how she looked at my ability to get bigger, stronger, and faster. And had that look like, you've been hitting them weights, huh? You've been working out, huh? And again, I wasn't expecting her to come at me so strong and so powerful. I looked at her like, if you were to do Batman, if you were to reboot Batman all over again, she probably would be a cross between Poison Ivy, which I don't think she's going to change her hair color to Poison Ivy, and Selena Kyle, better known as Catwoman. Because if you look in the story, all the women that Batman get are females that come off very strong, very powerful and aggressive, and a fatal attraction. Because she had her moments where she would have her good days. She would wait until no managers, no supervisors were watching, and she would get on that little tractor truck and drive the whole entire around a circle of the Coliseum and start spying on me. To make sure I do my job, of course, but that's not what she did that for. She did that to see how big and strong I was. And at one point, I kind of had that look on my face like, there's cameras everywhere, and you're very bold to be doing all of this where we have all these cameras. Every place that you can think of, there's a camera. Just imagine what would happen. You would get fired, you would lose your job, then you couldn't come back. Every time you try to come into the Coliseum, you would get banned, kicked out by the police officers and the sheriff deputies. So yeah, there would be a lot of stuff that would take place. And then to make it even worse, other co-workers knew about it, and then they would wait until she wasn't around, and they go, "So I heard you work out at Planet Fitness Gym." And I'd be like, "I know this woman ain't going back telling people that I be getting my swole on in the gym," and she would. You know, seeing what kind of clothes I got, what kind of shoes I got. And I'm like, man, and that's just one Samoan chick. Now, her sister quit the job because everybody was trying to holler at her younger sister. Like, her younger sister was like maybe 23, 24 years old. She was like in her late 20s, early 30s. And like I said, the second year she came back with more Samoan tattoos. Like, there was a whole lot of tattoos. And that's when I start to become, what's the word I'm looking for? Not one-itis, the other one. The one thing that's worse than one-itis. Being too thirsty. There we go. I was starting to get a little thirsty. Because she was doing things to get me to be thirsty. Which is never a very good thing, because then, you know, you hear O'Shea do Jackson like, "Oh my God, the brother that drunk the simp Kool-Aid." You know, Ringo be like, "I told you, my brothers, not to be simping of the thirst. The thirst, my brother." You know how Ringo TV Raw is. Anyway, she started to do stuff to get me to notice her. And this was on the clock, off the clock. And I was like, man, this woman, she could, I guess the first year she came on strong. The second year she came even stronger. And as a result, I got shit tested again. I would say, and the results would be the same thing. You failed the first shit test, which I already knew she was going to test me. And then the second time, I didn't barely pass. What happened was I got sick one day and couldn't come to work. And then my hours got cut the second year that I was working. And then next thing you know, I found out that they cut my hours because they were jealous that I was watching all the football games. I'm like, how are you going to be jealous of me watching Smash Mouth pro football when it's to make some extra money? The purpose of two jobs is to make as much income as humanly possible so you can put yourself in a bigger position to have more money available. And right when I was getting attention at one job and then getting attention at the second job, I got what they called overwhelmed. So you can see in one situation, the thirst got me real good at my second job. And where I went to my job here at the Grove, they cut my hours. But then the complaints came in because they didn't have as much security. And then I had to get my hours back by quitting the second job, which didn't look good for me because, you know, the Samoan chick was furious because the only reason why she would allow me to get away with certain stuff was because she had her reasons, in which I can't describe in this video because it's not PG. And the last thing you need is for the video to get deleted and demonetized and taken off the internet, because too many complaints YouTube get from people, and they be saying, "Oh, he said this in the video, he said that in the video," and then the video get demonetized, take it down, and you'll never see it of the day of light. You will never see the day of light. So I'm trying to keep it as PG as I possibly can. A lot of y'all are like, "Come on, man, I can't tell you. I'm just trying to tell you what actually happened." I mean, and had I went 3 years in a row, she probably would have came off even stronger than the 2 years. So if I ever go back next year, if I ever do go back, I wouldn't be surprised that she probably would pull something else off that would send me down the hole or something. And then you gotta climb out of the hole and get back onto the street and get a breath of fresh air. So yeah, I'm gonna have to make another YouTube video on protection, on how to protect yourself. Because pickup artists and dating coaches don't want to talk about how to protect yourself, because, you know, they're pickup artists and they're dating coaches. And this video is probably a lot longer than it intended to be. Yep. So until then, peace.